I wanted to welcome back my next guest. He's an amazing MC from the East Coast. His pen is always sharp and proves it again on his new album. I wanted to welcome back Bobby J from Rockaway. How are you, brother?
What's up, man? Thanks for having me.
Yeah, absolutely, man. It's been almost a year since we last had you on. I'm just excited to talk to you about your new album. We were talking about it. You mentioned it during that first interview earlier in the year that you had an album coming out with Dom Dirtee, and here we are, man.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
It was like a year and a half in the making, probably
Yeah.
because we had started on it and then I had my daughter and it was, like I took a little bit of time to like get used to that and then I came back to it.
Yeah.
So all in all, I mean, like the inception of this album was a joint that me and Dom did called Once Again, which is like the second song on the album. I think originally that song was like supposed to be a song that was for his third solo album as a
Ah,
producer. He has two compilation albums, The Hardcore Composer and The Hardcore Composer 2. And we first worked together on The Hardcore Composer 2. So I was assuming that, we were making music for the next installation of that.
oh,
And, he just sent me a bunch of beats and they were all dope. And I just started firing songs at him like, yo, I
yeah.
did this, I did something of this. And that's pretty much how it was. It was like, all right, I guess we're doing an album now. So, what you hear is kind of the product of, us starting about a year and a half ago,
Yeah.
take a little bit of a hiatus and then coming back to it. So, we finished everything, over the summer.
Yeah, it's amazing, man. I know when you work with different producers, there's something about them that you usually like. And is there a particular thing that you like about Tom Dirty when you're working with him that he does?
One thing that's really dope, is it sounds like he's sampling, but everything is original music. You know what I'm saying?
Crazy. I didn't know
Outside,
that.
when you listen to the album outside of, there's one joint, the joint with Paul Wall, we sampled
Yep.
AJ Hall. AJ Hall's a dope, dope with the drums. But, outside of a couple interpolations and, little things here and there, it's pretty much a sample-free album.
Damn, that's
So,
crazy.
so it's like the way and his beats are very dark too, like in comparison to my album, say with Neff, it's
Yep.
just very different sound, very different sonically. So like the songs sound completely different from what I would do with another producer. And that's kind of like why I like doing these one-off projects with
Yeah.
producers doing the whole thing because
Yeah.
it's it's better for the cohesion of the album. It usually brings something different out of me as an artist, as opposed to just working with like five, six different producers and trying to
Yeah.
like put it all together and make it make sense. And Dom, Dom's like a real like heavy, just he knows his hip hop shit. You
Nice.
like he's like a student of the game 100%, and we're very much on the same wavelength in terms of
Yeah.
like what we like.
Yeah.
And we kind of had the same vision for the album. So it was easy, man. Like he pushed me and I pushed him, and he respected my opinion. I definitely respected his. And like I think everyone like brought their own, vision to the table. And it was like
Yeah.
kind of like push and pull where, he would add his input and I would add my own input. And like it just made the records better, man. Like he really produced me, really pushed me in the right direction. So
How'd you guys get to the album title, Higher? Was that a joint decision or was that a
huh,
concept that you were toying with?
honestly, it's the opening song on the album.
Yeah.
We knew it was going to be the opening song on the album, and we were just like, we were trying to like rack our brains on like what the title was going to be. It's
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
what kind of like encapsulates this whole project. And we were like honestly overthinking it to the point where it was like we still didn't have a title for a long
Oh,
time.
shit.
We were just like, yo, we should just call it Higher because that's the opening record on the album. And
Yeah.
when you really think about it, it's like that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to elevate the sound that we grew up on
Right.
next level. It's like when you listen to the album, it's obviously East Coast boom bap, lyrical hip hop is like the backbone, but like we're not afraid to venture into other territories too. And we're like really heavy on song structure and like
Yeah.
making sure that, it's complete records. You know what I mean? We're not just doing, you know, like glorified freestyles where it's just
Yeah.
me, putting rhymes the whole album. Like we really, every song has a purpose and a place on the album. And, like I'm just big about, being a songwriter.
Yeah.
I think about all the artists that I grew up listening to, all these guys had the ability not only to rap, but to write hooks, to tell stories,
Yep.
put emotion into their music. And like, we're just trying to mirror our favorite artists that we grew up listening to.
Oh man, the lyrics, man. 16 pristine with bars, with Barbarian's coldest winter with letters with Starks and Targaryen. I said, God damn. Yeah, that was a freaking man, that was a great opener. And then just again, man, I've told you, man, even the first time I've interviewed you, man, I've been a fan of the way that you write, and your lyrics are always crazy. And
Thank you.
I think that's right, man. Higher, man. I'm the illest, but you probably never heard of me. I'll never make your list. And if I did, I deserve to be higher. Yeah, man. It goes very, very, very well with the theme. And hey, I saw that you were the guy that did the art for the album. Are you a graphic designer by trade, or is that something you do for fun?
No, that's Dom did all the art.
Oh, my
Everything
bad.
from the art side of things is Dom. That's actually like Dom is a graphic designer by trade.
I'm
That's like
probably
kind of
read it
how he
wrong.
got into the game. And I met him through Static, and he's always been a producer as well, but like he's done a lot of big, covers and artwork for like, I mean, I'm pretty sure he did the what was it, the Albert Einstein cover for Prodigy.
Oh
Um,
wow.
did what did he just do? He did the Beat Miners last cover. He's done all the Trill Static covers.
Oh man.
Like almost a lot of like Static's albums. Like he's doing the creative work behind it. But I mean, if you look up his resume as a graphic designer, like he's done
Stack.
so many people, man.
Yeah, you made the announcement of the album being done in July, and then you dropped the first single in October, which was "Dangerous," and had
Yep.
cuts by DJ Evil D of the Beatliners, who you referenced. So is
Yeah.
that the connection? Oh man, how you guys ended up collaborating together for that song?
Well, so on the hook, we interpolated
Yep,
what's his name? Starang
Sarang
Wonder
Wonder. Yep.
from OGC. And OGC has a record called No Fear that Mr. Walt produced. One of my all-time favorite
Yeah,
songs ever. And you know, Dom came up with that idea to flip that for the hook.
it's
And
crazy.
even if you listen to the drum programming, it's very similar to the way No Fear sounds. So it's like it was kind of an ode to that. And then
Yeah,
obviously Dom has a relationship with Mr. Walt and D, and we did
yeah.
the record. It's like, yo, it'd be sick if D did the cuts on this.
Oh my
D
God.
did the cuts, he killed it.
Yeah,
And then, the cherry on top is like Mr. Walt did the intro before the record drops on the album. So it's like we got the stamp of approval from the Beat Miners for that. But yeah,
so
man,
cool.
that was really dope. I mean, it really just came from me and Dom having a conversation about OGC No Fear and how much we like that song. And then he
Yeah.
sent me a beat that was like inspired by it, and it ended
Uh-huh.
up as the first single.
Yeah, I think that's great, man. And you guys got a lot of great press, man. You got song play on Shade 45 through Static, and then Hot 97. Tucky premiered it too on his show, and just all over different hip hop review websites, man. I just love your tribute to the old school. On October again, you released another two singles, and you talked about, hey, remember when singles were released?
Yeah.
You do a side A, side B, and you released Vibin' and Get Away. And that's where I had mentioned, I commented one time on the song that you teased about Tom Steiner and Suzanne Vega, her
Yeah.
track.
Yeah.
So I didn't even know that I didn't catch that you put the song in the background, and then I asked you if that cadence was from that. Yeah,
Yep.
so I imagine you're a big fan of the song then too.
Yeah, man. Just listen, man. I like it all, dude.
Yeah, yeah,
Anything old school, man. Like I
uh,
like old school house, like
yeah,
reggae, hip hop, grunge. It all like I'm a product of
yeah,
90s pop culture, like 100%. Between me and my older brother, like
yeah,
who's 5 years older than me, like I was listening to all the shit that he was bringing home. So, all that stuff is part of it. And it just
Yeah.
made sense. Like when I heard that joint, it kind of, that cadence made sense to me.
So yeah, hey, I'm same. I'm a big fan of that Tom's Diner song. So it
Mhm.
was exciting for me to hear it as a '90s kid too, as well. Hey, do you have a favorite song on the album?
Favorite song on the album. It's weird. I go back and forth. Dangerous is definitely one of them.
Hmm.
Once Again is definitely one of them. Break Me Down is probably like, one of my favorites. A lot of sleepers too, man. Like sometimes I haven't heard something in a while and I come back to it. I'm like, actually, this is one of the better joints on the album. Like I like Hello a lot.
Yeah. Oh man.
Um, it's dude, it's
Yeah.
we sat with this album for so long. It's like we toiled over these mixes and these songs for so long. It's like each one of them's like a my baby. You know what I mean? It's hard to pick
Yeah.
the favorite one. I guess it really depends on what day it is. Like I'm curious to know like which one is your favorite. Like I want to know which
Yeah.
ones are really hitting for everybody else because
Yeah.
I look at the response and I look at like the streams and I'm like, oh whoa, this one is actually kind of like a sleeper, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I'm curious to see what you think about it and what other people think.
Yeah. I think, man, I really toyed back between Higher, and then when I heard the second verse on Break Me Down, I was like, fuck, like I like was driving and I was like, I fucking played that second verse like literally 5, 6 times, man, to catch every word because every line was punching and as I go through these, man, it just and it's like it's dependent on the mood, but I think as you ask me here right now, Break Me Down was probably my favorite. And I'm gonna jump to the notes, man. And I'm
Right.
gonna reference the verse that I was talking about because I fucking felt that verse, man. Holy shit. That
Thank you,
was
man.
the uh the lines that go, I'm sick of all these albums selling 4 or 5 copies. I'm mortified because rap is like a glorified hobby. Am I blinded by delusion? Is it cool because my mood will swing? If someone stops and asks me if I'm still doing my music thing, try not to grimace shit. It's fine. Go ahead, diminish mine, but don't be cheering for me when I sprint across the finish line. I'm like, fuck, that
Yeah, man.
shit. Like, oh, every rapper knows what that feels like,
Yeah,
man.
dude. I think like those
Holy
are the
shit.
best ones, man. It comes from a real place, I think and when
Yeah,
I wrote it, that was the mood I was in, It's like
yeah,
sometimes you feel like you're running in place,
yeah.
like people around you be like, so you still making music, you still
Right.
doing this, still doing that. It's like, yeah, man, I'm still doing it. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
And it's like the average person, like, if you're not paying attention, like they don't see the accolades. They don't see
yeah.
like, or you get played on, or certain people like they only understand things that they know, right? So like
Right.
until you're on TV or until you're on a platform that they recognize, they're like it's out of sight, out of mind for them. So,
Right.
it's crazy, man. It's from a standpoint of like, man, we put this album out, we're getting like a lot of love, we're getting a lot of support. But then
Yeah.
you go out in the world and you live your regular life, and like some people don't even know that there's an album out. You know what I mean? So
Right.
you could feel sort of like you're running in place sometimes, like things aren't progressing, you get frustrated. I
Yeah.
think what I spoke about on that song is probably a range of emotions that probably every artist or
Whew.
everybody who makes music goes through at some point in their life.
Oh my God. Yeah.
So,
Yeah. That one hit hard. And hey man, and your numbers are freaking amazing, man. So I saw, and that's just one platform. We saw one platform produce your numbers for the year, and oh man, 153 countries. That doesn't capture all the other digital streaming platforms, but man, whew, man, you killed it, man. Just on that platform alone, I can only imagine that it's probably double on other platforms. But congratulations, man. Whew.
thanks, man.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
cool that people are listening. What's even
Yeah.
cooler, man, like honestly, the thing that was really dope that me and Dom did was we put out a custom version of the album like a week before it dropped on streaming.
Okay.
And we offered fans like an opportunity to get a personal shout out on the intro, like get your name baked into the intro, and it was a huge undertaking. But we wanted to do something just different and special because I think a
Yeah.
lot of things are starting to trend towards like direct to consumer sales. I think
Yeah.
everyone's kind of had it with streaming at this point. Like we all have to play the game,
Yeah.
and it's you don't get the window shoppers if you're not on DSPs, but you
Yeah.
know, we definitely wanted to do something that was direct to consumer. And, you know, we were overwhelmed, man. Like a lot of people showed up and bought the album, bought a custom album. Like we did it as like a litmus test, thinking, man, if we could just if we sell like five of these, whatever, you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like it'll be cool. But dude, it was successful. And like we're getting ready to do a vinyl run now, and we're probably gonna do something
Oh,
similar to vinyl.
that's great
Um,
news.
yeah, so something like we're mulling around ideas, but we're thinking about, you know, maybe doing a bonus track where we actually shout out all the people that pre-order the vinyl, like make a
Ah,
song and put
oh,
actual shout outs of people's names on the bonus track. So yeah, man,
that's
it like kind of opened a whole can of worms, like this the whole personalization side of things, you know, and the fact that people bought it, that, you know, the streaming numbers are one thing, but like
yeah.
people actually coming out of their pocket to support us, that's
Hell
like
yeah.
that means the world, man.
Yeah. Hey, I couldn't pass this thing up right here, man. This is freaking
There you
woo.
go. There you go.
Yeah.
That's what
Look
I'm
at
talking
that.
about.
Yeah. Holy cow, man. Yeah, so I thought that was cool, man. I'm a kid of the old school. I gotta purchase the physical copy if I really like
Hmm.
the artist, man. Hell yeah.
Yeah,
And I
man.
got the Neff one too. And I was looking around for the album that you did with Hush too, man. Did that make physical? I don't think y'all did physical copies of that one,
We
huh?
never did physicals for that. No, we just did
Ah,
a straight digital run with that.
yeah, that one's another favorite one of mine too. Holy cow.
Yeah, I love that one.
Well, hey man, let me run through these tracks real quick. Just I jumped into higher already, and then it was funny, man. As when I was first actually, the first couple times I was listening to the album, I didn't realize that higher and once again were two different songs. Like it blended in really well. That
Right.
was the same song. So
It's like it
yeah,
feels like it's like a second movement. Like me and Dom were talking about that. We're like, we love how it kind of goes right
yeah,
into the next one.
that's
Yeah.
great.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you guys did the acapella video for that. Oh, that was awesome. So I assume you guys are in the same state then. Is that correct? I wasn't sure.
Yeah, Dom's in Brooklyn. He lives in Bed-Stuy, and
Okay.
I'm in Queens. I'm in Rockaway, so I can't be
Yeah.
Bobby J from Rockaway living anywhere else. So yeah, he's not
Yeah.
far from me. Like he's probably like 45 minutes from where I'm at right now.
Not bad. Yeah. Hey, that makes it a whole lot easier, man. And as mentioned, I have to kick back the lyrics to you just to let you know that I appreciate your pen game. The track number two, once again, it's the art of war connoisseur. My pen is sharp as a katana sword, and I push it till my arm is kind of sore. Carnivore dinosaur, I use your vinyl as a frisbee. Damn, that's fucked up. I'm simply Lionel Richie to these Commodores. Golly, man. Just a lot of thought in things that you write. And you got lines, comedy relief, man, in that bozo head of yours, cold as winter, northeastern coastal temperatures. For the malice, callous as a hobo's manicure. Yeah, just real.
Half the time I'm trying to make either myself laugh or Dom laugh.
Yeah,
Like what's the
yeah,
most ridiculous reference or multi-syllable rhyme scheme I can come up with?
yeah,
You
yeah. What do you do? What's your method of writing, man? Just like your idea is not just it's just not confined to like two bars. Like you can carry it real well for like 4 or 6 bars and build a story. Do you have a specific method? Are you rhyming words first? What do you do?
know? Yo, a lot of sometimes, man, it's just like, you know, you might be driving, you might be in the shower, you know, you think of a word or you see something on TV. It could be a word or a phrase that just gets the gears turning. You know what I mean? Like a lot of times it's you know, I'm big into coming up with rhyme schemes and like just making words connect. I mean, I think every rapper that's serious about it is into the same thing. And I have a lot of friends too that rap where it's like we'll be in like a text group. Like me and Little Vic and my boy Hatch do this a lot, where it's like he'll throw a word in there and you got to keep the rhyme scheme going. And
Oh shit!
it's really like just trying to make each other laugh, but sometimes we come up with like really dope shit sometimes, you know. So sometimes that like bleeds into the songs, you know.
Yeah,
But it's like exercise. Like I'm always, you know, I'm always putting stuff in my notes. I'm always stacking ideas. Some of it'll use, some of it'll never use, but it's like just keeping my skills sharp. So when I
yeah.
do, it's there, you know. But yeah, man, it's like it's kind of like a second it's like second nature at this point. Like
Yeah.
I'm always thinking about it. I'm always doing it. My wife hates me because she'll be talking to me sometimes. But you're not listening.
Right.
You're thinking of a rap right now. She's like, I can tell like the way your eyes are looking that you're thinking of a fucking rap right now. And
Yeah.
I'm like, you're absolutely right. You know, she might have said something. I'm like, oh, okay, I got to go with this. But yeah, man, it's like it's a forever cycle of me just always stacking ideas and
Yeah.
thinking of rhyme or thinking of song concepts or whatever. But I never know what it's going to be until I hear the music. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? I rarely write outside of the music. You know, the music,
Mm.
everything. So because I'm big into flow as well. Like the words got to flow really. Like my pocket has got to be, my voice has to almost be like an instrument to the beat.
Yeah.
So, you know, the music always dictates where I go with it, But like I said, I'm always keeping ideas in my pocket too.
Yeah, yeah, your voice hugs the beat really well. And it's the last line I wanted to point out. It's very clever. Pray, I don't make it, I pray. Good. Something like that. I didn't know that. So super dope, man. And we I'm gonna jump past Vibin and Dangerous since we talked about that already, but both amazing tracks. And man, I gotta talk about this next track, the feature from Paul Wall. Man, y'all on I Gotta was man, that was wild. So
Man, that was so that was the last song we did for the album, right?
oh,
And
okay.
I've been sitting on this beat. Like, yo, the album was done. This is and Dom made a good point. He's like, this is why I love music, man, because like last week the album was over here, and then this week we have this record with Paul Wall, and it's like everything can just change in a split second and
Yeah.
change the whole dynamic of the album. But so I that was the last song we did for the album. I had my rhyme written and I had probably the first part of the hook done. And I was like, I don't really know. I was like, I don't really know where I'm going to go with this. I don't know where this song fits. Like, I was borderline like halfway with it. Like, I don't know if I'm going to keep this on the album, whatever.
Oh man.
But then I came up with the chopped and screwed part at the end of the hook. Like, that just kind of popped into my head. And I was like, actually, this would sound really dope if I had like a Houston rapper on it. You know what I'm saying? Like, because I
Who
think
else?
everyone expects me to have, like an East Coast, rapper from New York. And I'm like, the more I thought about it, I was like, subverting people's expectations and getting somebody like Bun B or Paul Wall on this would be
Uh,
crazy, and it wasn't completely out of the realm of possibility because, Static knows Paul.
right.
Dom worked with Paul in the past. They have like a working relationship. But it's always a shot in the dark, man. It's like
Yeah,
you
yeah.
never know what people are gonna say. And but me and Dom are just like big proponents of like, listen, just ask. The worst somebody could say is no. And
Dude, great advice.
he sent it to him, and Paul got right back to him and was like, I got you.
Oh,
And like,
oh
yo,
man.
man, like, and 2 weeks later we had the vocals, and I was like,
Damn.
holy shit, like, yo, man, it was just one of those situations. I was like, I was like, I don't think this is gonna happen, but fuck it. Like, I'm like, the record's dope. I think it's perfectly tailored to someone like him. I don't see
Yeah,
why he wouldn't like it. He knows Dom, he knows Static. Like, the only thing that in our minds that would make him say no is just like he's Paul Wall, he's busy. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
Like, he
yep.
fucking got hands to shake and babies to kiss, and like he doesn't have time to like do a verse on our little album, but he did it, man.
Amazing.
And I don't even know how I could pay that guy back. Paul Wall, thank you. Like,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? Like, that's the favor of all favors, and so many things like that happen in the music industry where it's just favor for a favor.
Chance.
Something happens by chance.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, and I'm just like, I'm blown away that he did it. He absolutely killed it. And I owe that guy for life. I,
Yeah.
I got hopefully I'm going to see him next week and really tell him how thankful I am. So
Oh my God, yeah. What a fantastic track. And that's a great point that you brought up, man. I enjoy different circles of rap. And so I love it when they intersect. And so, like you said, it's like, oh, holy shit, I didn't know this combination could happen. And
right,
it's great. I was just blown away, man. And again, and both your pens were crazy. And you had that line about because when these spider senses start tingling, rappers catch arachnophobia. You like the scrotum to attack, man. What a great track, man. So hey, I'm
thank you.
glad it made the cut. Holy cow, man. Things happen for a reason.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. And just again, and I'll jump to the later half of the album, but just fantastic. Round and Round was another song that I really enjoyed. And your wordplay, yeah, just appreciate how you put words together. Cloud chasers or Martians, atom bomb to the silo. Scientists study me keeping data logs in a spiral. Notepad to these rappers. My catalog is the Bible. Matter of fact, your catalog is NyQuil. Damn, some shit, man. Holy cow, man. That's great. And there was another part that made me laugh was the line about we pan them on to the camera and armor. Yeah, that's what they were more recording
Yeah,
videos, right?
right.
I was like, yeah, it is kind of like
You
pantomiming.
got a good ear, man. Like
Yeah.
you're getting all the lyrics right. You know, a lot of times people have a tough time. You know, you got a really sharp ear for like you're catching everything, nothing slipping by you.
Oh man, thank you, man. I just, yeah, one, I just really appreciate the way that you write, man. So like, and you got to play it back like 3, 4 times to catch everything. I know I'm just probably a bunch of stuff, but holy cow, man. Damn, pantomime it is kind of like what it is when you're recording a rap video. So
Yeah.
funny, man. And I'll jump to these last couple songs, but thank you, man. Get Away was another one, and man, I enjoy kicking these back to you. I'm done. I done told you I'm a seasoned vet. Pussy's full of PMS. Want to RIP him and see him eternally at rest. I ain't leaving yet. Shit, I'm a philanderer, Grim Reaper, cheating death. Oh man. Um, yeah, two other favorite lines I had was the line about I ain't staying stationary. I pushed the envelope without your stamp of approval. Man, holy cow, dude.
Yeah.
Just yeah, yeah.
People
Love her.
be addressed.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Like Gettysburg, reassess your petty words. Holy shit, man. Or catch a visit from the EMS.
Yep.
Man, really dope. So track 11, Hello, was a really deep song. It talks about everybody having problems and revealing one's daily stresses. You mentioned that was kind of one of your favorites, man. Can you tell me just real quick what were you going through when you wrote that song? It was a really deep one.
I think I think at that time, man, like, you know, because it's like one part personal. There's a lot of like bar work on there too. I really like the flow on that track. I like the pocket and the beat
Yeah,
that Dom made. Think of that. This album was made like a transitional period in my life. So like
yeah,
I was about to have my daughter. I was trying to get into my new home that I'm in now, and it's like I was living at home with my mom at the time, with my wife and my baby, you know, waiting to get into our new place, and it was like a very long, stressful, grueling process. And I recorded a lot of this album, in my basement, and I'm just sitting there, I'm like thinking like, man, I got a baby on the way, nothing's working out, nothing's going
yeah,
right for me. You know what I mean? It was just a stressful time. Like I was just getting a lot off my chest. I guess it kind
yeah,
of bled through in the music, you know what I mean? But I look back on it, I'm like, wow, I'm in a much better place now. But it was
yeah.
the recording of this album was honestly like it was needed at that time because
Sure.
it was like a release. It was kind of cathartic for me to like, leave the stresses of the day, behind and like sit and focus on making this album. It was like kind of like the one thing, you know, obviously outside of like, you know, my having my daughter and
Yeah,
and everything that was going positive in my life. But it was one of those things where it was like I have something to look forward to. Like
yeah,
I'm really excited about this album. I'm really excited about making this music. And when days would get tough or I was stressed out, like at least I had this
yeah.
to go back to. You know what I mean? And it really helped me kind of just like focus my brain on something else. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So I needed it. I needed the space to be creative, and I needed to work on this because I would have, not that I would have lost my mind, but it was,
Right.
this is my escape. This is my stress
Yeah.
relief.
Yeah. I just, like you said, man, the emotion bled through, and I love it, man. It just, I can tell so that when the artist is true to what they're writing, and yeah, I appreciate that, man. It's an open book. You're a diary, and you're showing it with people, and I appreciate that much as a fan. And then you mentioned this earlier too, how just you love how Dom Dirtee is a student of the game, and I find you to be the same way too as well, and it reflects well through your music. And I really like that line where you tribute Public Enemy, right? You mentioned I got this rap shit under my thumb, Public Enemy #1. I just see your show in Bum Rush It, which
Yep.
references, yep, the album. So
Bum Rush the show. Yep.
yeah, hey man. So yeah, just again, great track, and then finally Break Me Down, which was probably my favorite track on the album, depending on the day. But verse 2, we talked about it, and so there you go, ladies and gentlemen. Higher, holy cow, props, brother. And I'm
Thank
excited
you,
that it's
man.
coming out on vinyl.
I'm excited too, man. It's been a long time since I've had vinyl press, so I'm excited for that. Just to
Yeah,
have something to hold in my hands, and I think the fans appreciate it too. Like
yeah,
vinyl is like really what people want. I constantly get requests for vinyl.
yeah,
CDs, tapes are cool, but vinyl's like an art piece. People want to put it in their crib and
yeah,
hang it up, and I do too. So I'm
yeah.
looking forward to that.
Yeah, you guys have any idea where you guys going with the traditional black, or you going with something special like alien green to go with it? Or...
I think it's gonna be a green vinyl, like
Yeah.
it's gonna match the color scheme. It's gonna match the color scheme of the cover. So
Yeah.
we're going over a couple ideas now, but it's gonna be something like that.
Yeah. Well, hey, before I go into the fun portion of the interview where I just ask you some lighthearted questions, I did want to highlight one that I really liked too was the song that you did for the Count If album, The Era of the Beast.
Yeah,
Oh man, yeah. Now these cats are acting catatonic. I think they're done with rapping. See, their tongues are flapping. Now the cat has got it. Ooh, I paint the picture like Jackson Pollock. Fuck. That was intense.
yeah, man, that's a dope one. Cal Fifth is a good dude, and
Yeah.
copyright was on that, and Double AB, and
Ah,
both those
heavyweights.
guys are both those guys are, I mean, shit, I grew up listening to Copyright. So, he's a huge influence on me. So I had to, step my game up. We're gonna actually be doing more music too.
Oh man.
The other day. So we're trying to figure out getting some new music done, me and Copy. So
Ooh,
shout
that's
out to him,
exciting.
man. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, hey man, hey, thanks again for the opportunity to do a deep dive on your album. Again, ooh, much impressive release once again. But thank you for that. And as mentioned, man, we're gonna close out with some lighthearted questions. So if you're good to go, I'll kick the first one off.
Let's go.
All right, 'tis the season, man. Your favorite Christmas movie?
Favorite Christmas movie? Probably National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation.
Yeah, yeah.
I'd seen it
Chevy
a million
Chase.
times, but
Yeah.
there's a lot though, man. I mean, is Gremlins a Christmas movie?
Why not, dude? Yeah, it's the same time, right? That's great.
Gremlins. There's like a bunch of Christmas movies that like aren't technically Christmas movies, but they take place during Christmas.
Yeah.
So
Die
like Die
Hard, right?
Hard. I gotta say it's probably Christmas Vacation though. It's like I
Yeah,
watch that every year, like a tradition.
yeah. Chevy Chase is the man. All right, man. Hey, your opinion. Is it okay to save a parking spot by standing in it?
No,
Okay.
no. I hate people who do that. And I don't think anybody, does anybody respect that? Like
I
somebody,
did not.
God, I've never seen that work. So no, I
Yeah,
don't.
that's a good point.
Especially not in New York, man. People do
Oh,
not for that shit. No.
no, yeah. So I got a range of different answers on these interviews, but I think maybe it might depend on the location where you're at. New York, motherfuckers are ready to fight, man.
I've seen people try to do with like the orange cone too. Like people just throw that shit in Like I've never seen it, especially in places where they have like alternate
Yeah,
side parking and there's no spots, man.
yeah,
It doesn't work like that. No,
that's
no.
great. All right, hey, what is Bobby J's favorite Christmas song?
Dude, I got a lot. I'm a
Oh,
big Christmas music fan. That's the funny thing. It's got to be Nat King Cole, the Christmas song, man.
Nice.
Got
All
to
right,
be.
man. Okay. You guys share this one is your worst Christmas present that you've ever received.
My worst Christmas present that I ever received. Oh man. In retrospect, the Sega CD, man. Just because that thing sucked, and and me and my brother thought it was gonna be like some next level shit, and well, actually,
Okay.
it wasn't completely bad, but we thought it was gonna be like next level. Do you remember when that came out? I got that
I
for Christmas.
do, yeah.
Yeah. And I just remember kind of being like deflated after a little while. Like this actually wasn't as good as I thought it was gonna be.
Oh, that's funny. Okay, man. Hey, have you ever had a celebrity crush and who was it back in the day?
Million. Crush, celebrity
Yeah,
crush, like back in the day. I
yeah,
mean, for me, probably J Lo, like
yeah.
prime J Lo, even though
Hey,
she's not.
Prime J-Lo.
Yeah, but I think she's, you know, I wouldn't want to be with Jennifer Lopez, man. She's too crazy. She's gone through too many husbands.
Yeah.
So yeah, probably her. Let me see.
Oh man,
Um, Anybody else? Not off the top of my head. That's the one that just jumps into my head. Prime J Lo
I
was my
like
shit.
it, man. Hey, final question for you as we go into the new year. What is your take on New Year's resolutions? If you subscribe to them, what are you going to target this for resolution?
Um, I think they're great if people actually stick to the plan.
Yeah,
But listen, man, if you're gonna make a serious life change, why wait till the 1st of January to do
yeah,
it?
good point.
Do it now, you know. I think anybody that like, sets like a serious life goal, like I'm gonna lose weight or I'm gonna stop drinking or I'm gonna, do this or that.
Yeah,
That's great. Just stick to the plan. And you don't have to wait to the new year to get started.
yeah, that's a great words, man. Well, hey, with that, hey, thank you again. That was fun. Any special projects that you want to tell the folks about before we close this interview?
Yeah, well, I mean, uh, hire out now. Definitely doing a vinyl run soon. There will
Yeah.
be some bonus material on there. Me and my boy Hush have a
Oh,
single coming out in
ooh,
January with
man.
artist named Cadillac Dale out of Detroit.
Yep.
It's actually just going to be a one-off single that we're doing a vinyl run for.
Oh,
Um,
man.
and there's a short film that accompanies it, directed by a guy named Dan Casey. And Dan Casey is extremely talented director. Um, he wrote Furious 9. He's wrote 10
Oh, wow.
Cloverfield Lane. So he's got a lot of accolades as a writer under his belt. But he's a really dope director too. So he did the short film version of that video. It's going to be premiering in Detroit the weekend of January 17th. So
Ah,
it's going to be
nice.
dope, man. It's going to be dope.
I'm excited about that. Hey, so with that, again, hey, I've told you just time and time again, big fan of your work, and I appreciate everything you do, and I appreciate the time that you give me anytime just to do things like that. With that, hey, happy holidays to you and your family. Congratulations on things to come. And
Yep.
any final words? I want to leave the floor to you to close this thing out. Any final words before we close this interview?
Yeah, man. Buy the album Higher. It's out now. If you go to domdirtee.com, you can get a digital version with bonus tracks that aren't on streaming. You could get a physical CD signed personally by me and Dom. And yeah, man, that's pretty much it. If you want to follow me at Bobby J from Rockaway on all platforms, you search Bobby J from Rockaway, you'll find my music, you'll find my new albums, you'll find all the albums that came out. And that's it, man.
Thank you.